Welcome back. We're days away from the new year, and as always, people are thinking about their New Year's resolutions. It's clear parents feel a lot of pressure and have plenty of demands. So how realistic is it for them to be setting New Year's resolutions for themselves? We have parenting expert Julie Cole and author Erin Pepler here to discuss today. Okay, so parent resolutions.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, I have to say that my usual advice is that we suffer enough and let's not put extra pressure on ourselves.
Right.
But I think it's okay to maybe not do resolutions so much, but do some goal setting.
Okay.
Yeah?
And
Yeah,
what might
goal
that look
setting.
like?
Yeah.
I think for me, it's not about beating yourself up and looking at, like, what am I doing badly that I need to improve? Because that's a pretty negative mindset to start the year, and it can be tough, and you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. But if you look at what has been going really well, what do I want to do more of, and try to incorporate more of that into your life, I think that's a better place to start, for me at least.
Right.
I love that. And I know for me, like, when parents ask about it, I always think just, maybe, again, the beating yourself up, like maybe a couple things, like, if you're suffering from like the mom guilt, take it easy on yourself.
Right.
It's not helpful. It's not proactive. So, I always find if I mess up with my kids, I apologize, I learn from it, and I move on. And that also is great role modeling, because then they'll apologize, and there's no shame in making mistakes, right? I think another great parent one would be maybe, if you're kind of a helicopter parent or you jump into rescue a lot, try to maybe step that back a little bit, hey?
Yeah, especially as your kids are getting older. Like, mine are 10 and about to be 12, and Julie's are all older than mine. And I think when they're little, it's easy to helicopter because you kind of have to for their safety to some extent. But when they get older, you really have to proactively be like, I'm going to back off a bit and
Right.
let them gain that independence. And I think it's harder for parents than it is for kids, at least for me.
Yeah.
Like, my instinct is to helicopter, and I think I don't, but only because I make a really conscious choice. But that, like, helicopter is spinning in my brain, and I'm just making a point to put a little space there so that they can grow.
And it is good for them to learn to problem solve for themselves, right? Like, we don't want to be solving our kids' problems when they're 30, so let them get this practice now. So I think that's a good one. Now, I do want to give a shout out, though, too, for like professional women and moms who want to take their goal setting to the next level. There's a book by local author Julie Ellis called Big Gorgeous Goals, and I would recommend picking that up just for the real keeners out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk, like, is it possible to set a New Year's resolution with the entire family? Is that something that you're seeing or encourage people to do?
I think it's a great exercise. Again, I would focus more on goals, not so much resolutions, and I would make them reasonable. Like, what is like, we're not going to expect our kids to suddenly, it's a new year and they're going to be perfect,
Yeah.
and their rooms
Angels.
are going to be tidy, and they're going to do things like bathe.
But maybe things that make, like, just the family life flow a little bit easier. So if you know that, like, mornings are a disaster in your house, what can you do the night before that will make the mornings easier? Because that's kind of parents and kids. That's the whole family. Because if you get off to a bad start, like, and everybody leaves for school and for work feeling miserable, like, no one's going to have a good day. So, if you have to lay out kids' clothes the night before, have them do it, have kids make their own lunches the night before, get up a little earlier, like, whatever works for your family, just figure it out and try to make, like, things like easier for yourself.
It's like creating good habits, right?
Yeah.
It's creating good
Routines.
habits. And I think, and routines. And I think, as family, it can be a lot of fun. Like, there are different ways you can set goals, and they can be things like, we're going to be screenless once a week. We're going to try and get outside as a family on the weekend and do a hike every Saturday. Those little things can be big game changers. But there are fun things you can do as a family to create these goals, like have a family bucket list, or I know, like, teenagers
fun.
love the, like, bullet journals or a vision board. Like, if you get everybody together and you cut magazines out, and you can
look at
create
that one. Beautiful.
like, you can create a vision board with, like, some of your goals, and your kids might want to do it for themselves as well.
Have you guys tried any of these goal setting with your family, and have they worked? Just quickly, we got a minute left.
Yeah, you know what? I generally do a little something. Again, I'm very reasonable. It's about being realistic. There's no point in having goals if they're going to fail, and you don't want to end up feeling guilty, right?
No, my individual goals always go a lot better than my family goals, because the problem I have is that I will step in and be like, okay, we got to hurry that up, and I will step in and do stuff. So my goal for this year is kind of to let the kids do more.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Laying back on the helicopter parenting, like we mentioned, eh?
Yeah, no, I'm not bulldozering, right? Like, not taking away all the obstacles in their path, just letting them figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think for moms and families too, with what we've just come out of the last couple of years, is probably a good time to be thinking about checking in on each other's mental mental health, checking in what self-care means for us. It means different things to different people. So I think just doing that temperature check and keeping an eye on your entire family.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. We have Julie Cole and Erin Pepler. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.